The Ravens ended up losing, and Lamar Jackson ended up losing once again to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That now has Lamar Jackson falling to 1-4 against the Steelers in his career, while the Steelers get a game and a half above in the AFC North. The game ended on this 2-point conversion play where Nelson Aguilar and Isaiah Likely didn't know who was going to break out. Lamar has to scramble out to his left to make a crazy play, try to make something out of literally nothing, and he can't do it. I don't like this play call at all. The personnel that was out there I think was a massive mistake, but that ended up forcing the Ravens to lose, and the Steelers once again claim victory. As you just mentioned, the past 9 times these teams have faced against one another, Baltimore has gone a pathetic 1-8. So I would like to know, though, what was your takeaway from Pittsburgh's win?
I would say it was a classic Ravens-Steelers defensive battle when it was really expected to be a high-scoring game. That didn't pan out. It was a knockout, knockdown, bash 'em. It was a very physical game. And the Steelers didn't even score a touchdown. I mean, they had 6 field goals. The Ravens scored 2 touchdowns, missed an extra point, which was big, and forced them to go for that 2-pointer at the end with only a couple minutes left in the game. You look at the stats. Wilson, pedestrian game really, 23 of 36, 205 yards, no TDs. Jackson, 16 of 33, 207 TD. Did run the ball for 46 yards on only 4 carries. Harris was their big rusher for the Pittsburgh, 18 of 63. Warren, 9 for 41. Justin Fields, two carries for 17 yards. Those were very important. Those iced the game for the Steelers at the end, even though Fields made a mistake by sliding too soon before he got the first down. They still managed to get that first down. On the rushing side for the Ravens, Henry, very pedestrian game, 13 of 65 for 65. He had 1 touchdown, uncharacteristic for him. The receiving, Likely 4 for 75 yards, Flowers 2 for 39, but he had a touchdown. He also had a bad drop. Bateman 2 for 30 and Hill 4 for 28. So Lamar spread the ball around a little bit, but again, he only had 207 yards. He's been passing for a lot more than that recently. So the Steelers D, I think that played a lot. That played into this, and actually the Ravens D didn't play so badly either. The receiving on the Pittsburgh side, Pickens 8 for 89, Washington 2 for 42, Harris 4 for 30, and Warren 4 for 27. As I mentioned, the Steelers have won 4 in a row now in the series, 8 of the last 9, as you mentioned. Wilson threw third down interception into the end zone there, which was harking back to Wilson playing the way he did at Denver. The Ravens couldn't get that 2-point conversion to tie the game. That was the play of the game. The same thing happened to them in 2021. They had the same situation. They couldn't get a 2-pointer, and they lost the game. Justin Fields helped ensure the win with 2 carries at the end of the game. Made a mistake, as I said, sliding early and not getting the first down. Boswell was the player of the game with field goals, 6 field goals, 32, 32, 52, 57, 27, and 50. That's quite a game. This guy, I think, is the best field goal kicker in the league.
I'd still give that to Brandon Aubrey. He made a 64-yard kick that Mike McCarthy decided, you know what? We'll accept the penalty. And what'd they do? Turnover on downs. Points didn't count. So I'd still give it to Brandon Aubrey. But it's my redemption day. I feel great. I feel absolutely great. You know why? Another expected performance from Lamar Jackson. And honestly, what we heard pregame is kind of shocking because he was asked, what's the deal with you not finding success against the Steelers? And his response was, I don't know. Well, this was him post-game about losing another game to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Take a listen to what he had to say.
It's been that way for ever since last year, I believe. Going back to the AFC Championship game, we killed ourselves. Chiefs game, the opener, killed ourselves. Raiders, we killed ourselves. And today, same thing. It's just like we can't be beating ourselves in these type of games. We got to find a way to fix that. Should have known.
Well, one of the ways you could fix it is playing well. You just didn't play well. Under 50% completion percentage. Not a good game at all. Several missed throws. In fact, we have a number of the missed throws. Let's play some of them, why don't we? These were all completely missed throws. You know, you want to go roll out to your right, deep throw to the right side, overthrow. Really no shot at actually catching that football. How about this one? Deep play left side to Deontay Johnson. He has found no success since going over the Ravens. Overthrowing, and honestly, that's a bad angle, but if he actually did catch it, the ball would have been out of bounds. This one, I was at Zay Flowers. Overthrow again. Was it this next one's going to be to Isaiah Likely, I believe. Or no, Mark Andrews. Overthrow. Just overthrow. No real accuracy. So if Lamar just played better, it'd be great because the defense, shockingly, stepped up beautifully. They played a tremendous game. Russell Wilson passing the football in the first half was 12 of 20 for 76 yards, and they sacked him 4 times. He could do nothing. He looked slow. He did not move very well outside the pocket. He was not completing passes. The defense did its job. Who didn't do his job? Lamar Jackson, but that's expected. It seems like we put the ball we take the ball out of Derrick Henry's hands, which, by the way, 8 carries in the first half for 52 yards. That's 6.5 yards per carry. He had a long run of 31 yards and a touchdown. He ran it only 5 more times the rest of the game. Again, the play calling, the strategy, and that's the issue I have on the 2-point conversion. Justice Hill is out there. You're obviously going to either pass the football or do a QB sneak because nobody's fearing Justice Hill on the 2-yard line. But if we take the ball out of Derrick Henry's hands, he had 13 carries in this game. So how about this? I did this before with 20 carries for Derrick Henry. Let's even shrink it down even more to 15 carries. These are Derrick Henry's numbers when rushing 15 or more times. He wins nearly 68% of his games, 5 yards a carry, 109 rush yards a game. He averages over a touchdown per game in these games, and his team wins by double digits, by more than 10 points a game. But how about this? Lamar threw it 33 times. Let's take a look at his numbers when he's relied on a lot. When he throws 29 or fewer times, 83% win percentage, completion percentage of nearly 70%. He averages 194. It's rounded up, actually. The official number is 193.67 passing yards a game, 93 touchdowns, 25 picks, a 107 passer rating. What happens if he throws it 30 or more times? His numbers shrink. 57% winning percentage. He's won like 70% of his games, so the winning percentage, it does shrink by a lot, 83 to 57, but it still is over 500. Completion percentage of only 62%. He has more passing yards a game, obviously, 250 essentially. Only 56 touchdowns to 22 interceptions. He has 40 less touchdowns and only 3 fewer picks and a passer rating of 91. Is he a bad quarterback? Absolutely not. There's a reason why he's a 2-time MVP, nearly 2-time unanimous MVP, and he was on pace and still could have an opportunity to win his 3rd MVP this season. But in the biggest games, against the Kansas City Chiefs, against the Pittsburgh Steelers, in the playoffs, when it matters the most, when in this game at least, the defense did its job, we come up with excuses. The fumbles, the penalties. Guess what? None of this is new. They were the most penalized team before this game, and after this game, they're still the most penalized team. So people want to bring up let's just go double screen. People want to bring up, they have 12 penalties. They were still the league leader in penalties before this game. So nothing is like, this is a unique game. We had 12 penalties. That's the most we've had all season. We never draw. No, they were the most penalized team in the NFL. Nothing was new. Not running it with Derrick Henry only 5 times in the second half. Again, that's a mistake. Put the ball in his hands. See what he does with it. Don't take it out of his hands. You picked the Ravens, by the way. I'm surprised you're not defending Baltimore more.
Well, you bring up some good stats there. Those are interesting stats.
This is the truth. It ain't stats. These are facts.
Well, I said those stats are facts. I'm not saying they aren't facts. I think that the
people.
I think the strategy was a mistake. They should have pounded it more with Derrick Henry. They would control the clock more, and they would wear down the defense a little bit. And they kind of got away from that. And that was, as you said, they did well in the first half when he carried the ball more. He had a 31-yard run. He had a touchdown. I'm sure he was upset that he was left over there on the sideline at the end of the game. Why not put him in for the 2-point conversion try?
Look at this. Wrong clip. There, I want to get the right one up. Which one is it? It's this one. There we go. You have Justice Hill out there. Then you have Wallace and then Nelson Aguilar, and you have Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, play it again. I mean, Andrews was open. Now look, watch.
Well, Andrews breaks open.
There he is. He's open right there.
Yeah, but he's not in line of sight. There's no way that Lamar is going to look this way all across the way that way when you have 4 Pittsburgh Steelers.
When the Henry played for the Titans, sometimes he threw the ball.
Oh yeah,
they hand it off to him with those goal line thing, and he just pops a little pass in there. They kind of tried something like that. They got get a little more creative. Keep Derrick Henry in the game. I agree with you. That was the difference, I think.
Well, it's an instant tell too, because if we remember, right before that actual 2-point conversion, the Steelers, I believe, called a timeout. As soon as the ball got snapped, we could already see Lamar going to do a QB sneak. We saw it immediately when the ball snapped. Lamar took it head down and started to run, but the timeout was called. So I think everybody knew Lamar was going to either roll out to the right or make some sort of designed QB run to try to win the game. And especially when you have Justice Hill out there, it's an obvious tell that he's probably not going to get the football. Derrick Henry is the main rusher for this team. He was the league leader in rushing yards, and he's had a touchdown in every single game this season. And you don't have him out for large parts of the fourth quarter and on the biggest play of this game on a 2-point conversion.
I think they should have gone with him in the I formation. It would have looked like they were going to run it. They could have gone play action, given Lamar the option. It would have had more time back there in the pocket to and maybe to scramble a little bit to find the open receiver. Maybe they would have gotten the 2-point play.
Once again, I'm not surprised. Steelers came out big. Steelers won. They've won, 8 out of the last 9.
Well, they're not going to win too many more if they can't score touchdowns. I mean, they didn't have
If you play Baltimore, you will. If you play Baltimore.
Well, you don't play Baltimore every game. They got them one more time. They still got a lot of games to go.
You had 20 more plays than Baltimore did. You had the same amount of drives. You had 2 fewer yards per play. The defense did its job. I mean, think about it. I would have zero confidence on the late game drive if Russell Wilson was out there instead of Justin Fields, because they already tried a QB sneak with Russell Wilson out there that failed. Justin Fields came in, and that was kind of a sigh of relief, because you're like, okay, at least we'll have some speed. And guess what? What was the crucial part? Getting the first down, or would have been the first down if he didn't slide too early, but he used his speed. Russell Wilson couldn't have done that. He's way too slow now. So we saw the package that Arthur Smith was talking about, and it came in the biggest moment. And also, I'll add this. Russell Wilson threw a horrible interception. So you had an opportunity. You had several opportunities in this game. Missed throws, miscommunications, bad offense. Defense did its job. Held him to 0 touchdowns. Chris Boswell went 6 for 6. If you go under 50% completion percentage, have 207 passing yards, a touchdown, and then, by the way, Peyton Wilson, what an interception. It was kind of underthrown. Peyton Wilson made a great play on it. Steelers defense is legit.
No, I agree with that.
But again, Ravens defense did its job. If I'm the DC of the Baltimore Ravens, I'm looking at it like, well, we didn't allow a single touchdown, and somehow we still lost. That's what I'm looking at. If I'm I'm looking at it like, well, our defense didn't allow Russell Wilson or anybody to score 6. I can live with field goals. I can't live with my offense not being able to put up any sort of points when it matters the most. Obviously, Orr won't say that, but that's what I would say if I was him. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.